Hello everybody, welcome to you. My name is Alan Robson, the Ghost Historian. Behind the camera we've got Hollywood McShane, award-winning producer. Today we happen to be surrounded by an amazing place. I'm kind of halfway between Crook and Darlington in a place called Harperley. Now, this camp is one of 1,600 camps that there used to be all over Britain. There's 5 left that are in any shape at all, and this is by far the best. You know, it was hoped that this would be saved by the Heritage UK or the National Trust, and it just didn't happen. Maybe they considered that this was not as important. I think it is. In the wilder part of a complicated and busy northeast, this still remains, and I believe it remains for good purpose. As you can tell, this is a theatre. We're going to be using this as our main HQ. And here is, we're already getting something in the far distance there, Tony.
Oh, yes.
You see it?
Yeah, a sookie.
Now, I'm carrying in my pockets all kinds of gadgetry and apps and mobile telephones that we can use. But we are not going to be alone tonight. Not in any shape or form. Because the people who were kind enough to find this for me, gentleman called Peter, who is an archaeologist, so this is perfect. I don't think he's been on a ghost hunt before, judging by what I've heard. And Heather, his wife, who sorted this visit out. As you can tell, we're on the stage, and this is exactly where people would do the meet the gang, 'cause the boys are here. Entertainment, not just for the troops that guarded this place, and there were many of them. There was an inner perimeter and then an outer perimeter. And this is where, up until 1948, Italians, Germans, Nazis, the SS were held. Amazing stories all over the place. But I think before we really dive in and get started, and if you think I look fat, it's just, I've got all kinds in my pockets, so just bear with me. So rather than carry a case around, which looks a bit silly, let's go and meet our hosts. I've got them hiding in the dark, softening them up, getting them ready for their role as victims. Do come in, you two, if you will. Now, we have here Heather. Thank you, Heather. And this is Peter. Peter, an archaeologist, a perfect couple if you think about it, because as any woman will tell you, to an archaeologist, anything that gets older becomes more interesting. So we have the perfect situation here. Now, we've been in the theatre 10 minutes, tops. We've already had a couple of responses while we've been talking about it. The thing you don't realise is there are huts galore here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to implant this too. Now, Heather, what's your connection here? We've met James, the owner, but how did you find this whole place?
We run a wellbeing company.
Right.
And obviously we also work with archaeology, photography and all sorts.
Sure.
So we contacted James and said, you know, you've got a perfect place for us to run projects from.
Right.
So we've started doing work here and offering tours and
Great.
little events, big events. It's all just early days stuff, but it's all going to happen. So
Great.
the first couple of tours sold out really quickly and they're not happening until May.
Right.
So if anybody wants to come to the site, they're more than welcome to do so, but it's ticket-only events. It's not open to the public as a general
Right, and it'll be during the day you have to...
During the daytime, so you can jump onto the Facebook page, which is Harperley Camp 93,
right.
And everybody can see what we're up to.
And this was Camp 93 out of 1,000, some people say 1,600, I found 1,000, about 1,580 is the number that I've found, but that happens to be the case. So if there were 1,500 people here, multiply that by the number of camps, and you have, you know, at a time when Britain was literally back on its heels, we weren't doing too bad to have that amount of prisoners. And remember, our lads were all over the continent, and to be quite honest, usually in a lot worse of a place than this one. Now, you mentioned that there's a building literally just up from here where someone hanged themselves. Is this correct?
Yeah, I was speaking to the owner just to try and get a bit of gen on the place, and
right.
The alleged tale is that the hut that's just the next one up on the other side,
right.
was one of the internees hung himself in there, so
right.
we don't know if that's worth it.
Now, this is maybe of value to some of you guys. I've been doing this for a long time. At first, I didn't believe in spirit at all, and then I saw something and I had to go on radio with literally hundreds of thousands of listeners and admit I've made a huge mistake. These things are real. They do exist. I'd been saying that people had been taking drugs, had been drinking, you've watched a horror film, your imagination. But we now know that there is real stuff kicking about. And I've seen it on a few amazing occasions. And we want you to see it tonight. Now, for you guys have you done ghost hunts?
No, not really. No.
I would kind of follow you.
Right.
You know, we watch
I'm your ghostly release. Right, so just something that you should be aware of. And I know a lot of it will be obvious to some of you guys that have done a lot of these things. You've got to kind of open yourself up more than you would normally do so, because obviously the world is a vicious place. So you have your defenses up. When you come to a place like this, you've got to open yourself up to anything, a noise, a waft of air. A lot of this is very, very subtle. Sometimes you will see something. In my experience, look for a darkness within a darkness. Something that's blacker than the blackness that surrounds it. And you'll be surprising how common this is. Now, a lot of people see them out the corner of your eyes, you know, where you'll be in the house and you'll just see something like moving and you move around. Well, as soon as you move around, the blackness will disappear because it's only something that you can possibly see from the cones, which are essentially the white part of your eye. So once you look with the main part, it's gone. So if you can, and this takes a bit of bottle if you're in somewhere haunted, is to, if you see something moving, try and follow it with the cones on the side of your eyes. It's not something that comes easy, and you'll go, oh, damn, I looked, you know.
The night sky, it's very often better to look to the side.
To the side, absolutely. Yeah. This guy's got his photography hat on now. So there you go. So what we're going to do is we're going to implant these two at opposite ends of a hut where we know for sure that at least one life was lost. Now, they say that numbers of lives were lost on this camp. I know the Spanish flu came through here at a rate of knots and took an awful lot of lives. I've also heard mixed stories. One was that they were taken and buried at the local churchyard. However, I've checked the local churchyard records, there's 6. Now, there was a lot more died in the Spanish flu. So where are the other bodies? It's generally considered that they're dead, they're here, there's square miles of emptiness in all directions. They're probably planted here, I'm guessing. Now, I can't think of any other reason why they wouldn't have been reported somewhere. If they're in a churchyard, we gave them a Christian, you know, what we would have certainly said at the time. So where are the other bodies? I don't know. Will we find them tonight? I don't know. Will they give us reason to believe that they want to be found? Because I've often discovered that where history is concerned, it's places that are stained, where somebody's died before their time. That usually kicks them on. Or alternatively, they've been put in the ground without any kind of recognition, as if their life literally meant nothing at all. So let's get these good people. Now, I did put my torch down, Tony. I've got an awful suspicion.
There,
it's there.
there.
Good. Right. Because I know that I'm going to switch Suki off just for the moment, because we're not going to be in here. But he's already shown his worth. I've got some cat balls with us and bits and pieces. Do you have that hanging thing, Tony?
I do.
Come with us. Right, here we go. Great. So this is the hut.
Be very careful on the ground because
Yeah, it's
go that way.
right.
The hut that's about
Look at this, Tony. This is amazing.
There's actually a hole in front of it where there's a drain cover missing.
There's a drain cover missing.
So
Well,
do not disappear.
every time there's been a drain cover missing anywhere, I've gone in it.
Well, please don't.
So
Not tonight.
this is amazing, though, Tony. Right, here we go. This is the hut. Oh, and it's a good size.
Did you bring the other camera?
It's in my pocket along
Right.
with 1,000 other things.
Lovely. Just because I'll.
Do you want to
put
set
on
it here?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Now, I'm thinking of your buttocks, but not in a bad way. Is that all right for you to sit? Okay, Peter, if you'd like to come watch your step on all of this.
I've explored these huts.
Yeah, but it would have been daytime probably, was it? Right, okay. So, I'm thinking probably there. You sure? Right. Now I'm gonna put an odd trap here. Do you want the camera out, Tony?
Yes, I'll put that on.
Okay.
As you're walking around, you'll see there's graffiti on the walls.
Right.
Done by the prisoners.
And do we know whether it's specifically German or?
We're translating some of it. It's mixed. There's obviously been people here later on because they put things on, but there's one particular piece which says comparing this place to hell,
Right.
but we don't know. Maybe it was the guy that was here. We don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I think that because you're far from home before you even start, I think it's likely that, especially if you're coming from Europe and the Allies are winning, if you're German, how's my family? Have they been bombed? What's happened to my children? There'll be an awful lot of that, I'm sure. So that's set just looking at Peter. Or do you want it to look down the full length?
I can, but it doesn't. Probably won't go right
That
to
far.
the end with no.
Gotcha.
But there is a mic on it, so if anything happens, you can move.
Right,
up to
so
it.
Heather, if something terrible happens to you, scream really loud and we'll come running.
That'd be me.
Well, what we'll do in the meantime, shall I put the balls here?
Yeah, I've got the hanging thing as well.
My
All
main
right.
problem is I'm not sceptical. I'm actually too much the other way, and I'll convince myself I can see things at home.
Right. Well, that's why you maybe put the camera down on Heather.
Yeah, well, I can swap. mix
Swap it
up.
around.
Just leave it there. It's fine.
Leave it there for now,
Right, okay.
and then
So there's two for you there, Peter, and what I'll do is I'll put one down the bottom.
we can hang this.
Yeah, we'll put this down there as
Oh,
well.
we're not hanging on that thing unless it's live. No.
Man. Logistically.
I wouldn't be hiding.
No.
Be careful.
Right, here we go. Well, hang on. Oh, it's this is, we can make a fish hook. That's fine. It's electrical cable, so. Badoo. Right.
So you're recording this,
That's recording. Yeah.
so you'll see the light.
Right. Something that you somewhere will. Oh, it's just here. This will be fine.
It's very different in the dark. I've just discovered.
Yeah, that is an absolute understatement.
Maybe I should put this on the lights then as well. This way.
See again?
Can I put this here so it's got the light as well?
I don't know what you're talking
The
about.
camera.
The camera. Well, the camera's not going to pick up that.
No.
Or do we just target it at one side, then we move it up to Peter?
I'm quite happy to record bits and pieces as well.
And Peter's got a camera with SLS on.
All right. There
So
you
at
go.
some point, Peter, if you want to do a bit,
Oh, of course.
but just be very careful.
I've got my full camera equipment in the car, so I brought it out with me.
No worries. Hey, we've got what we've got and we're going. We're live. So let's, fingers crossed, good luck. And we will see what we will see. Now, Tony, did you brush that?
I just touched.
Because this
clicked it,
physically
Yeah, you
has
have
to be
touch
touched.
It.
You can't, do you know what I mean? It usually has to be touched. So
Yeah, I just did to show everyone it was working.
that's cool. Right. Good luck.
Yes, on that.
All your senses, though.
We understand.
Right. Good. Great. Let's get busy. Let's have a look. Right now, I want to go down the walk and avoid the hole. Okay.
Yes.
Right. This is amazing. So you're seeing what we're seeing. This is the hut where the guy hanged himself. And I think you have to realise that, I mean, you're seeing the torch. That's the equivalent of a searchlight, isn't it? Where they're looking to make sure that nobody escapes. Look at this. Tony, let's have a walk in this one, see if we get absolutely anything at all. Be careful, I think that might be muddy on your feet. Look at this.
It's quite big on there.
Well, apparently, each of these blocks held 68 men.
Oh God.
68 men in double bunks. So, just look at it. You get to one side and obviously this would just have been a solid wall at one point. But look at this place. Absolutely amazing. And even when you come down, you see this kind of thing here.
Very well hidden with all the trees.
With the
as well.
trees, to try and stop anybody. This is incredible. So we'll go out the side of this one, walk down the side, or shall we walk through the next hut?
Yeah, if we can get through it, I guess.
Yeah, we'll try, absolutely. Let's do it. Yeah, that's just like grass cuttings, isn't it? And here we have another hut. Nature, of course, trying to steal these things back again. Oh, hang on a second, I'll take the amp out and save the battery life. This is, I'm going to switch everything off here. Good. We've got some necromancing to do in this place, there's no question about it. Here we have, you know, the buildings are obviously being used for farm purposes at the moment. But just imagine for a second this place full of prisoners running around. Now, the one thing that they had here, and I'm hearing voices, but it could very easily be Heather and Peter. They had three types of prisoner that had three types of outfit. The first outfit was white, and they were German prisoners that they considered to be relatively safe. They would interact with the locals. Then you had those wearing grey. They were of some risk. They could be dangerous. So you had to be extra careful with them. And the third type wore black. The Nazis, the SS, killers. Now, there was one person here, Ernst Schmidt, who carried on so badly and was trying to stir people up to attack guards that he was moved further north to the Scottish Highlands, where the most dangerous and most vicious SS and Germans were sent. Now, Schmidt, who was here, amazingly here, he's the man that came up with a torture in the Second World War that was disgusting. It involved the placing of a woman on chains, and a hose pipe was placed, a proper fireman's hose was placed where no woman would want one, and then the water was switched on until she burst. Now, normally by the time it got to that stage, she'd confessed. She'd given the names of anybody that the Germans were looking for. And the guy that came up with that was here. So it just shows you that the worst certainly were not here, but some bad ones absolutely were. Some tractors in there, we leave that one alone. But remember, 68, what was that? Tony. Oh, and it's the one with the trucks and stuff in. Just caught a glimpse of a little bit of movement there, just a little ounce of movement. Look at this, look at this. Now we know look at it, goes on forever. 1,500 prisoners here. And then on the outer area, you'd have machine guns, you'd have armed guards, you had barbed wire. And I've got a few stories from people that have either been here. An amazing story from, it's actually a show that we've got that we recorded when we were in Estonia. I'll tell you that story a bit later. Let's just look at this now. We've got to watch for, there's big holes here, so. Look at this place. It goes on forever. Forever and ever and ever. You can imagine this place with bunks, can't you? Mm-hmm. And don't forget, if you guys see anything, if you catch anything, make sure you log the time so that we get a chance to go back and see what it was that you've seen. You can imagine guards walking down here late at night, making sure that all the doors were locked and all the prisoners were in place. Can you hear voices? Listen. I think we'll go in one of these.
That goes on forever.
It doesn't, look at it. And these, what's to say this isn't one of the original beds?
That looks really old, that.
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Walking noise in the far end. That was quite cool.
Some paintings there.
Yeah, done by the inmates. You got to remember, and this is the interesting thing, when you think about who would do such a thing, why would a German? Hitler was a staunch Catholic. Hitler said that he and the German army were fighting for Jesus. So that would mean, indirectly, that we were fighting for hell. As soon as you put religion in anywhere, it's an oddity. But there's some paintings. There's graffiti apparently on all of the walls. Did you hear that?
Uh-huh.
What was it?
Sound like outside.
There it was again.
Definitely heard something.
There it is again. Can you hear it?
Sounds like a radio, you know, you're radioing somebody.
Yeah.
Like the old, like the static.
Yeah. I hope you guys at home can pick that up. Just bizarre. I think that's actually quite creepy.
Gramophone, someone said.
A gramophone, could be. That's the manhole, I'm guessing, that you would go down, Tony.
Oh, right, yeah. Be careful.
Absolutely. Look at this. How spooky is that, Tony?
That's a little, I wonder what that is.
What is it?
Looks like a very old chair.
It does, doesn't it?
I don't know what this room is. Maybe a guard's room?
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, there's that static.
Sounded like it was coming through the wall from, you know, there's like a hole in the wall here.
Yeah.
It's just peculiar. A gramophone, somebody said. That would be interesting. Don't know whether they had one here. Oh, we've got to bring Suki down to look at this. It just goes on and on and on. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Let's do this one next, Tony. After you. Oh, 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 oh. Look at this. This is what a lot of it would have been made out of. Metal sheets. Oh, look, we've got a bit of movement. Now, there's no particular wind, but look at that.
Oh.
And there. And it's not windy, is it?
No?
And we're inside. Explain that if you can. Oh, look at this, Tony. The walls come down. And can you imagine people from one hut signalling to people in the other hut?
Definitely. Quite close together.
Look at this. Barbed wire.
Barbed wire.
Now, I don't know about you, but you saw that moving, didn't you?
Yes. Moving quite bad.
It's wire, right? You got to move it. We've had a voice. We've had a gramophone. And we've still got, there's 10 more huts. 10. There's another. Oh.
Yeah, that looks
vicious too. This one, because it's perhaps a little bit more intact, has got a bit of gravitas to it. Glass. I don't think, I'd be surprised. Would they have glass in the windows? I suppose they would. It sounds like old glass, doesn't it? Mm. Candle. That would be their light. If there's anything here, come on. Make yourself known. Show us that you're here. Show us that you're here.
There's more.
More?
Goes on.
What?
Must be rows of them.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm just nebby. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, some of these would have been like the guards side, you know, where the guards would stay. And for that amount of prisoners, how many guards? 200, 300, 500?
Yeah.
There'd be a few. I know that some of the people that were guards here joined up in the second, third or fourth wave of recruitment, because at the very beginning they only took the healthiest. And then people that had flat feet or a bit of a bad back, they needed everybody to the cause. And one of the people that we've heard stories about that I'll share with you later have said that they joined up and were not allowed to, and then later on, 1944, joined up just for the last part of the war, and some of them were sent to be guards here because they didn't feel they were healthy enough to go to the war and actually fight it. By then we were fighting the Japanese because Hitler had committed suicide, or did he? Or did he disappear on those ships that there are logs for? Watch that pothole, Tony.
Yeah.
It is literally right outside the door. I just think we should maybe head back before we do the bottom bit and see if they've got anything. Shall we do that first? Mm-hmm. Just I realise we're getting further away from them.
You can necromance on the way up.
Yeah, that's a really good shout.
Shall I ask if there's any German people here?
Italian people listening. Any Polish people? Any farm hands who used to work surrounding about the area?
I'd love to hear from you. Tell us your stories, if you can. Do you like us being here? What was that?
Is that you guys?
I hope that was a yes.
Instead of throwing stones, can we not just make one of the lights like this?
We heard you, so please, was it you that threw the stone?
Which one of the balls? There's a light in the middle. There's a light on the side here.
Come on, please.
Whoa, hello.
That's fantastic.
Did you live here?
Try again.
Did you live here? Did you stay here? Did you work here? Did you own here? Was this your house?
Was it your farm?
Did you like living here?
You can do this, you've just thrown a stone or... Thank you.
Did you live here?
Try again.
Did you stay here for years? Were you a soldier? I apologise, I can't speak German.
Yes.
If you were a German soldier, would you let us know? Are you an Italian soldier?
strange noise. Like, could have been an animal.
Were you a cook? Did you work on a farm nearby? Maybe that's talking to you.
I'll try. Who would you prefer to talk to, a man? Please, because you made a really loud noise, so you can only hear. So speak to us. You've got our attention.
Tell Peter if he dies here. Were you happy here?
Wie gehst? Come on, talk to me. Death. 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 A lot of death going on here. Give me a name. Peter. Peter. Hello, Peter. Who else is this? Speaking English. Look at that. German. Did you hear that?
Oh, was it?
Something auf, which is out. Could be get out.
Get out in German.
Just a hint of an American voice there, which is random.
I think one of these is a restaurant as well.
Sorry?
One of these was the restaurant as well, wasn't it?
Yes. That one, I believe. Yes, that one. I'll tell a lie. That one.
That one.
They also use the theatre for performances for the troops. And they were set, oh, hang on. Let's stick to this. I'll tell you about that when we go back in there. Let's see how our victims are doing. Heiß. Heiß. That's hot in German.
Wow.
Have we ever had German on this?
No, not that I can remember.
Vielen Danke. Hello, you two. We're getting German on this.
We've got a couple of teamed up in the middle.
Hang on. Let me just kill everything for battery purposes, and then we can. But we've never had German on the Necromancer before, and we were getting. My German's.
Mine is the
It's about 30. I've got about 30% German. I can do about 70% French, but 30% German. Heiß, auf, which is out. It was obviously German's guttural. What did we get here? So I can.
We've got, we were having a nice conversation with the cat ball along there, was having a nice chat with Peter.
Right.
Something hit the wall, a stone or something.
Went up, guys. There was a bang, like a stone was thrown against
Something
the
was
wall.
thrown.
Here?
Ah.
Yeah, in here.
Just literally in front of me here.
And then
Was it out or in?
It sounded up.
it sounded like it was outside being thrown at the hook.
You'll hear it because it was very loud.
Right.
But we got conversation going back and forward between the ball at that end.
Right.
And then Peter said there's just a dark shape moving towards you at this end, and then this ball went off.
Yeah.
It seems to be that the guy would like, or lady, they wouldn't answer that whether they were male or female.
Yeah.
But we mentioned that we were trying to reinstate the gardens, and they seemed quite happy with that. There were
Now,
lots of action there. So
now the garden, there is somebody who's buried in the garden, isn't there?
yeah, Rudy is buried here, but he's actually over the other end of the site.
So we can't get to that
we can't
site.
get up there.
But Rudy was buried over there. A message for you, Rudy, if you're around. But we heard a noise of a gramophone.
Right, yeah.
A gramophone.
Or a
for heaven's-
static something.
Well,
Or static. It could have been
gramophones on the site from many years ago.
old-fashioned radios, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have happened, definitely.
Yeah.
It wasn't a...
But you were getting direct communication here.
We were, yes.
Peter, because you're a long way away, you're not going to be picked up on my mic, so let me just get a little bit closer to you.
Where we're here now,
Right.
there was the noise first, wasn't there, Heather?
Yes, there was.
There was that
yeah.
bang. I mean, it was made just... You know, I didn't swear. I don't think it was. I think I said...
It's all right.
I
It's,
might have said bother.
Other
It's-
lights
oh.
going off here.
oh, there you go.
Well, we asked if we wanted to talk to Tony, so it may well be that you've got close enough for it to do that.
Oh.
Because
But it was
we said, would you like a
frustrating
message for Alan?
because it was
Or
intermittent.
Tony, or-
It wasn't...
Can I just ask you just to be quiet just for a second so that we don't get any vocal overload? Peter, you said you'd seen this black. Explain the black. Because a lot of people, until you've actually been in the situation, you don't understand it. Explain it as best you can.
I can. Well, I'm a sceptic.
Right.
I want to believe, but I'm very sceptical. But because you can see some light through
Yes,
the
you
windows.
can. Yes.
So, at first I noticed the shadow just move in front of that window down there.
Right.
Just
Yes, yes.
very
Because you can
quickly.
see like the light
Almost
through
quite
it.
slowly though, wasn't? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I said to Heather, "There's something just passed in front of the window," and 2 seconds afterwards, the ball
The
lit
ball
up.
went on.
Yeah.
Right. So it may well have been whatever it was, and you don't know because it's an unknown. But it could have been that whatever it was then got within proximity of the ball
Yes, exactly.
from moving
Yeah,
across. Because
yeah.
that would make sense, wouldn't
would.
it? Tony, what do you want? Do you want to pick up and because they've got stuff here.
Yeah, that's good.
But you see, we've got 10 more huts right at the very bottom that we haven't touched yet.
Oh.
Up.
Well, whatever's here wants to stay here.
Shall I go and get
Or-
Sucky?
Yeah, or you could take the camera with the light and then explore.
See again?
And we could give them the camera to have a look down there. Maybe if you've got a spare torch.
I believe Heather's got a torch.
Oh,
Right, so you see, this is a night vision camera, so it'll not show up colours. Did you hear that?
No.
Was that an owl? That's all right. We're happy with owls. If you just point that in any direction. Now, obviously, if you're walking like that, you're killing it. But if you
We've seen you use it.
if you just
Is there
point.
an on button? Or?
No,
No,
it's
it's
on all
on-
the time.
It's permanently
So
recording.
don't have a sneaky wee. So are we leaving these here, or are we moving on?
I don't know. What do you think?
I think we should put them in the theatre and then maybe do a theatre at some
Yeah.
point, all 4 of us.
Yeah.
Have you been in the canteen?
No. And that's where I think we're going to have you take us next, if that's all right with you, Heather. So where the other one is, it's on there. And we need him. If we can get him.
That's the only thing we do go on.
Yeah. He's relatively new.
Yeah.
I think he's getting used to us. Hopefully he'll come and join the party. You never know. Watch your step, though, everybody. We found 2 grates that you could vanish down. So thanks for the warning.
Past history and all.
No, absolutely. So which one's the canteen?
The next one along, because these are the 2 that were preserved by the English Heritage.
Right.
They did realise that they had some value, and they spent a lot of money putting these outer skins on the huts
Right.
for this one. And you'll see why when we get in the canteen, because the original art by the prisoners. Is
Oh, I've
still on
seen.
the wall.
We've been.
Yeah.
Are these the ones of Jesus and
No, these are actually painted directly on the
oh,
wall.
on the wall? No, we saw some paintings on the floor in one of the huts.
No, these ones are actually painted directly onto the walls.
Oh,
and
wow.
They are wonderful. And they,
Right.
they are scenes of Germany or, well, Verrier or wherever.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. You coming, Peter?
Yep.
I'm just trying to be a gentleman here. There you go.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Right.
And they even made wooden curtains to keep this up as well.
Oh, that's nice. Hang on, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just, we'll do as best we can. I think we put him over there. Come on. That'll have to do. So, oh, look at this.
We would love to find out who the artist was, because nobody knows.
Well, we can ask.
Well, that's exactly, yeah.
That would be lovely if we could find that out.
Let's ask a question.
But these paintings are fabulous.
Right, let's necromance and see what we get. Thing is, you might get German again, which I wouldn't be too surprised about. I want to see the art. I think. Look at this, wonderful. Who did this painting? Wunderbar. Namen? Look at this. The art, yes, the art. Who did it? Who put this art together? Who was the painter? Who was the painter? Was this a picture of home? Oh, hang on. Is this what I think it is? Does it work?
I don't know, I wouldn't want to set it off just in case.
You cannot have a siren without somebody. Hang on. I'm sorry.
People do live here though, and I really would want them to. Yes, it works.
That will work. We'll wait till it gets later, then we'll wake them all up. That's tremendous. You just know that this has got some welt to it as well.
Maybe if there's anything here, they might make it more economic.
Yeah, I'd love to think so.
That might have been what we heard before, the static.
Could that have been the static?
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't in the room with her.
Now, this is switched off. Did you hear that? It's switched off. Start. Unbelievable. We still want to find out who the artist is. Who painted the boats? Give us a name. Come on. Give us a name. Who did it? Where is this? Where in the world is this? Is this your homeland? Deutschland. Come on, talk to us. You seen this, Tony?
There's a castle on the top of there.
No, have you seen this?
And Robinson?
Robson?
Robson.
Yes. Give me a name. Who's here? Who's with us? That's more like it. Tony, the first ones we've seen. Barred window. Who's there? Give me your name. Who's with us now? Come on, who's there? Hess. 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 It's a German name. I think we all, anybody that's into history will know there was a famous Hesper. He wasn't here. Mitt. Who else is there? Mitt's with, isn't it, in German? Come on. Sprechen. Come on. Talk. Justified. Justified. Female voice. Justified.
We would like to speak to you.
No, absolutely. We want whoever's there, if there's anything there, talk to us. Tell me, why are you here? Come on. Helmet. Helmet. Helmut Enns. Helmut Enns. Yeah. That was a yeah, wasn't it?
No, he's a musician.
Well, thank you. Come on, Helmut, talk to us. Why are you still here, Helmut? Sometimes you get it mixed up. There's lots of noises that come out. You've got to focus in on the one. Helmut, why are you here? Dead? Dead? Well, yeah, we kind of got that. There's a skull and crossbones on the side. I'm torn, Tony, about... I'm going to do the lower 10 cabins myself. Mm-hmm. I'm going to set you guys up in the theatre at opposite ends, but we'll have all the gear in there for you. Okay, including probably the necromancer. Okay?
Time to split the stream then. That's
oh my goodness, that's so soon. Let's do it. Now, because there's glass in the window, do you see how if you shine on one side you get a reflective image in the other? I jumped to a wrong conclusion when I saw that over there. But it's me. And when you're in a place like this, it is really, really simple to just lose it a little bit. Now, what have we had to this point? We've had a gramophone. And I think it was a gramophone. We've not heard the siren, although I would love to. I'd love to rev that and give it 6 now, but there are people living on the site. So, we've had bangs and a conversation between our hosts here. We've also had Peter, who is a skeptic, seeing a moving blackness. Now, when I say that, I'm sure some of you at home go, you see that blackness here? It's everywhere. Some of it will be in your homes right now. That's the reality of it. This stuff is everywhere. And it's normal. But it's when you can prove it. And Peter saw it move in a particular direction, and then one of the gadgets went off. That's as good as it ever gets. We're now going to put everyone in the theatre. I'm going to take a walk literally in the dark side. I'm heading down to the 10 huts. We'll see if we get anything in that vicinity. I'm going to leave all the gadgetry with them. They've already had amazing responses. Let's see if we can carry on there. I think this is probably my favourite part of, because the direct interaction with the Germans and those after 1948 displaced people were put here from the Ukraine, from Estonia. There's one man in particular we mentioned who's buried in the rose garden over there. He came from Pomerania. You know those little dogs, Pomeranians? There is a country that was taken over by the communists and they couldn't go back home. And he ended up marrying a woman here in the northeast. But because he'd been here, a prisoner, they still considered him a risk. So he had to go and sign on at his police station every week for his entire life. He chose to be buried here with his old comrades in the rose garden. So we're splitting the screen. You know what we're doing. We'd love you to come with us. Tony, how do they do it?
Just hit the link in the video description and part 2 will be available on YouTube or Facebook.
Do it. It's coppers. It's like £3 odd. So it's nothing, and you get all the work that we've previously done up to this point. Okay, so that's the deal. So join us on the other side. Meanwhile, let's head in that direction, and then I'll head off into the unknown and leave you to run the show. What have you seen? Do I want my balls? I am afraid I absolutely do. Thank you very much. I would have forgotten. And if you can't, you got it? Should just be a loopy-loopy. Got it? Great. Excellent. Come on then. This place is spectacular. And it's spectacular more because it just seems to go on in all directions.